So welcome back to Worthington Model Railway, and hopefully in the background you can see the windmill turning there. It's turning and lit up using an Arduino, so let's look and see how we got all that done. So here we have a typical, what I'd call a swipe servo. Basically it goes 180 degrees in either direction, so you can turn it one way or the other way. And I was thinking, well, it'd be good if I could try to do something like this with the windmill, but I need it to continuously move. And so I did some research and I discovered you can buy a continuous servo. Basically, you know, the two things look almost identical, but this is a continuous one, whereas this is a swipe one. So this one will go 360 and it will continue to move. So let's have a quick look at the difference between programming the swipe servo and programming the 360. Here we have a typical example of a swipe. So basically we're going around 180 degrees and back 180 degrees. So let's have a quick look at the code for the swipe. So here we have the code. We're including a library called Servo H, which is the library to control the servo, and then we're putting the servo onto pin 9, and then we're just attaching to the servo on pin 9, and then we got a loop here, and in that loop we're basically just going to scan 180 degrees. So we're going to write to the servo the angle, which is 180 degrees, and then go back the opposite way. So this is kind of typical of how you'd write for that servo. And this angle here can basically be anything up to 180, but that's as far as that servo will go. Here you can see the continuous servo running. Now, by changing a value, we can slow this down, or we can make it spin in the opposite direction. And I'll look at that code in a second. But let's just change the value to slow it down. And you'll see now it's slowing down. And let's make it spin in the opposite direction. We'll send the code to the Arduino. You see now it's slower in the opposite direction. So get that better focused for you. So let's look at the code. See here, there's less code. We're still including the servo library. We're setting up an int to store the servo position, and then we're just doing a setup. My servo attach pin 9, my servo write, and the value of 80 was the last value we saw there. So if we can hit this up to 180, and it will go really fast. So basically, the middle point is 90, which is half. So anything less than 90, give or take, because you have to get down about 84 before it does anything, it will spin clockwise. Anything greater than about 94, it'll spin counterclockwise. And we don't put anything in the void loop because we don't need anything in the void loop here. So that's how we control the continuous servo. Now let's talk a little bit about what I did for the windmill. The windmill, I basically did the same thing with the servo, and I'm running at 82, so it's going clockwise fairly slowly. Because there's always the question of should windmills go counterclockwise or clockwise. I mean, Dutch ones almost certainly always went counterclockwise. A lot of British ones went clockwise. It can easily be changed. I'm sure someone's going to come back and say that I should have it going counterclockwise, but you know that just involves changing this value so the servo goes a different way. What I wanted to do, though, is I also wanted to put some lights in the windmill. And so I used basically the same code that I used before for the lights in the houses, but I only set up for 5 LEDs. And so added that into the void loop. So now I'm doing two different things with the Arduino at the same time. One is running the servo and the other is the lights. I have the servo installed and I glued the pole to it. It's a little wobbly right now. Let me see if I can make it less wobbly, but I think it's going to work. And there we have the sails turning a little faster than maybe I want. Let me see if I can slow them down a bit. It's definitely better. Okay, let's get some lights in this and get it put back together. And there's the windmill installed and turning. The lights on. Arduino is down here. You can see windmill hold back together. And I think turning at a reasonable rate. It's windy out today. Thanks for watching. This is a fun little exercise. I'm enjoying learning how to do stuff with these Arduinos, and it does add some fun to animate some of the things on the layout. Sorry there's no trains running today, but we'll get back to running trains soon. If you haven't yet subscribed, you can subscribe with the button to the top right, and you'll see more of these videos, and hopefully they interest you. If you like the video, hit the like button, and there'll be another video to the top left.